Right, well, welcome back troops. It's been a while, but the old garage doors fell off. Now, we'd had them for 50 years, so they didn't owe us anything, but I had to build a new set, and I'm just securing them now, and then we'll get back to projects. The first of which will be the 15-minute challenge to take a piece of wood, process it with one tool only, and ignite it with one method only, no tinder, just the wood you've started with, and boil your tea, all in 15 minutes. I was tagged by Petra of Petra Outdoors, or Petra Goes Outdoors. Fantastic channel. She does videos both in German and in English, so anybody who wants to learn German, that's a good place to start. So I'll just get finished off here and then we'll get straight up the garden. Right then, so the challenges from Petra Outdoors is make your tea in 15 minutes from start to finish, and that's with a piece of wood which I've got here, one cutting tool, and I've chosen an axe because I harvested this piece of wood with an axe. It would have been better to harvest it with a saw, but then I'd be left with a saw, and a saw's not much good for processing your wood. A saw and a heavy bushcraft knife would have been better, but I've started with an axe, so I'll continue with an axe. And as bushcrafters, we know how difficult it is to start a fire, and 15 minutes to make a cup of tea might sound easy sat on the settee, but it's not. And I may not have enough wood here actually, but we'll see. So I've got a clock behind me so you can keep a check on the time, but because that's not very good, I've also got a stopwatch on my phone there, so I'll be using that. So that's my stove. It's just one of them utensil carriers. Put the wood in there. That's my pot, which is just the Crusader cup with the heavy lid. That will go on top. Oh, should be alright. I've got some water in there, and I've got my tea making equipment in the bag there. So I was going to go into a right palaver of what we generally use in the bush, but you know that, don't you? We probably use birch bark, or I like to use elastic bands, ranger bands, fat wood, but obviously I'm not going to use fat wood today, that's cheating. But to start a fire, I would like to use matches, but I feel that's cheating, so I'm going to use the fire steel. The ferrocerium rod, sorry. And I've got a glove as well. You should always have at least one glove when you're mucking about with the fire. I'll take it off for now. So I'll start the stopwatch and we'll get going. So the main thing is some tinder to get going. So I'm trying to take off the outer bark, stringy outer bark. This is poplar. My preferred wood would have been silver birch, and in fact I did get a piece of silver birch, but it's rained on it for at least the last 12 hours, so although you can start the bark, the wood itself was a bit rotten, so it has absorbed a lot of water. Now I was optimistic, I'd just try and start lighting that now, but I'm not that optimistic. In fact, if anything, I think I'm a bit short of wood here for bringing the tea to the boil, because this is fast burning wood. It'll give you a lot of heat, fast burning. It's good wood for a bow drill, is this poplar. And I'm not terribly good with the ferrocerium rod. I'll be the first to admit that. Now, one thing I haven't really thought of is transferring my burning tinder into the stove, but I always moan about the lid being too heavy, but I say it has other uses, so what I'm going to do is put a lot of it in there. It's got a lot of woodworm in it as well, this one, not a lot but a bit, so it's going to make it burn a bit faster as well. Right, I know this preparation is the most important and we will take the most time on it, but we are rushed for time, so I'm not going to process all the wood now. I'm just going to process a bit of it. We can process a little bit more if we get this thing alight. Alright, let's just go for it and see if we can actually get it alight. See what we're running at now. 3 minutes. Okay, it always takes, I'm not very good with this, so we'll see how it goes. Just get them sparks in there. As I say, it has been raining a lot lately. There, we've got a flame going. Right, now can we keep it alight? This is the most critical part. Is it catching while I've dumped it all in there? And it's okay, I think we've got it going. We've got it going, so we can now take a bit of time to feed it a bit more. Right, I'm going to get the water on in a minute, so that can be warming. Right, another trick I think is just putting enough water in for your cup of tea. Just the more water you put in, the longer it's going to take to warm up. Just wash this out. What are we at? Well, we're not doing bad. We're at 6 minutes. Well, nearly 7 minutes. Nearly 7 minutes. 6 minutes 45 seconds. Right, so I've just filled the cup up to there. Get the top. Get the top on. Now a heat shield would make a big difference as well. That's not very safe. It's because the bottom of this thing's bored out. It doesn't look too safe, does it? I'm going to have to put it down on the ground. There's always things to go wrong. Right, now we can process a bit more wood. As I say, this poplar burns quite well. It'll burn very fast. Chuck a lot of heat out. So we might have enough wood yet. I thought I wouldn't have enough, but I think we're going to have enough. Right, I can put much bigger bits in now. Right, if I had a windshield, that would aid a bit. I'll get my tea out now. Oh no, it's gone out. Going out. Going out. Should get more. Tea. Sugar. Should be some whitener in here somewhere. Creamer, there it is. And you get a, I would call it a half usable spoon. That's all I would call it. It is very slightly damp, the wood, so when I put those big chunks in, they didn't catch before the smaller stuff had burnt out. but they seem to be alright now. He says there's a lot of smoke coming out there, and smoke's just wasted fuel. Right, what we're at now. Right, don't forget this is Petra Outdoors's challenge to me and Mad Dog Survival, and she's German. I think she's German. She does videos in both English and German, and she's a very accomplished, although she doesn't think so sometimes, but she is a very accomplished bushcrafter. We're at 12 minutes, so we want to start thinking about putting the tea in now, otherwise we're not going to have this tea. We've only got 2.5 minutes to go. It's not boiling. I've got a lot of suspicious floaters in there. Go on. I've only got 2 minutes, 2 minutes for me tea. I'd be better off putting my sugar in, putting my sugar in to burn, wouldn't I? Oh, it's starting to boil. It's bubbling now. It's almost a rolling boil. I don't want to put the creamer in. It's probably too hot to put the creamer in. Still got the tea bag in anyway. Okay, well, you don't want your tea, you don't need your tea on a rolling boil, but it's almost a rolling boil. I'm just going to show you it now. So there we go, we're on 14.5 minutes, 14.5 minutes, and that's hot enough for tea. My tea is hot enough, so I don't want it any hotter than that. Oh. So there you go, 15 seconds to go, boiling out the pot. So that's not easy. The biggest problem, the only real problem, is processing and igniting your wood and getting it all alight with just using the wood itself. So this is poplar, an excellent fuel for something like this. Where's my other cup? There it is. So I don't drink out of a metal cup. I put it in the plastic cup. And that's 3/4 of a NATO cup, which is more than enough tea. So I haven't put the creamer in. I nearly put it in the fire there. So what we're at 16 minutes now, but I'd say we did it. We still have fuel left, so you don't need that much fuel. But as I say, in real life, I wouldn't do things like that. But it's good to do things like that so that in real life you're not under the pressure that you would otherwise be under. Because what do you do if you got lost? If you got lost, seriously lost, first thing you do, sit down, have a cup of tea. And then try and get unlost without panicking. Anyway, cheers. I suppose I am supposed to pass this tag on to 2 other people. Off the top of my head, that will be Andy Outdoors and a Bushcraft N Fun. So if you want to try and make a cup of tea in 15 minutes with 1 tool for processing your wood, 1 means of starting your fire, preferably a bushcraft means, and then I'll pass that on to you and anybody else who wants to do it. And it's good for practicing your fire starting skills, so we'll leave it there. And to everybody, cheers. And it's still too hot. Put that in the bin because I think that's got aluminium in it. And, right, so that's it. I've been away for a bit, but I had other things to be getting on with, and this is a hobby which I enjoy doing, but sometimes it's nice to take a little rest from it. So I'll catch you in a week or so.